Hi. Welcome to the Refined and Amplified Show. And today we're going to flip in a popular saying over his head. And that saying is content is king. But something I realize is that content isn't actually queen or king or whatever you actually prefer saying. What is king or queen is clarity. Because without clarity, right, your content is not going to connect, it's not going to resonate, it's not going to convert clients or your audience into paying customers or clients. And it's definitely not going to make you keep on creating on. Because to be honest, it doesn't actually reflect you. And that's something that I had to learn a couple of months back when I restarted my other brand. But we're not talking about Ruta Zikiri here. We're talking about you and your content. Like like most people, right? You're burnt out because you are actually creating content that actually doesn't say anything. That actually does not reflect who you are. That does not reflect your identity, your voice. You're creating content because of what you see on social media. Creating content because of the trends. And to be honest, but I feel like once you're clear on your message, your why, your values, your your identity, content becomes intuitive. And something I've been doing to become more intuitive or with content or to reflect so that my content or my brand actually reflect who I am as a person is to stop scripting my videos or YouTube videos or even TikTok videos, any kind of content in general. Because I realized that the more I script my videos, it feels like I don't actually trust my voice, trust myself, don't actually trust the message that's actually coming through. It does not reflect the content that I script does not actually reflect who I am, does not actually reflect what I want to say. So I started creating loose outline. I started creating loose outlines. Very like the what I mean by loose outlines, very, very loose because this outline usually have five main bullet points, and within those five main bullet points, two or three smaller bullet points that's about the main bullet points, and the rest because those are the main things I want to hit, and the rest of the content, everything else I say in my videos nowadays, which I started 2 weeks ago, is just gonna be based on me, my experience, my identity, my opinions, my values. Yeah, it's going to come from me. And realize that the more I dig deep into my experience, my identity, me, my message, and once I'm clear about who I am and my message, my story, and everything I've said previously, the more I find that my content resonates with my audience because my message, right? I find hits makes me human. One, it humanizes my brand, makes me feel human, and I feel like be, because I've been through certain things, which we all do, which we all have, you resonate with, you hit pain points that you don't even know your audience have actually faced, which makes it resonate with the audience, with your audience deeper, you know. Then then they feel like yes, then they feel seen in your content. They feel like you understand them. You don't just create content for creating content's sake. But the thing is, okay, let's go back because I just went on a tangent today. And because people feel burnt out, not because of how much content they're creating, but because of how much the content they are creating feels not like them or doesn't actually say anything. And the reason why it's not, if you feel like it's not, again, it's, I think I've said this, is it feels like it's not resonated with them, or it doesn't actually say anything anymore, say anything, because it's not rooted, it's not resonant, it's not even theirs. The thing is, you're starting with what should I post instead of what do I feel like posting today? What do I deeply believe in? What story do I need to tell? And what do I say? What do I need to say, even if nobody is gonna like it? Okay, let's get clear on something. Let's get clear on what clarity actually is. Clarity is your root system. It's your voice, it's your story, it's your message, it's your values, it's your opinion, it's your perspective, it's your why embodied. All that together embodies, or we all reflect who you are, and that is what you need to embody on on a constant basis, because that's basically who you are. Because when you're clear on who you are, your story, your message, your values, your voice rather, content feels not just intuitive, like I said, it feels simple to create. You don't actually run out of ideas, because everything you're going to be talking about, you're going to be like, you're going to be sharing with the world, comes from you, comes from your experience, comes from who you are, comes from your identity, which again you are embodying every single day. You are that person every single day. So it could be like it could be, for example, right, it could be like you learned something about yourself 2 weeks ago, right? And today you're coming up with content. You're coming up with content for, maybe you're planning a month worth of content, a month load of content, and what you learned 2 weeks ago, alongside other things you've learned or experienced in the past 2, 3, 1 month, 1 year, could be things you can actually talk about in your content right now as you plan it for the month. So so anytime you're coming up with content, so, and this is exactly what I do. I do not just for RA Content Studio, for this brand, also for my lifestyle brand. You know, I'm always asking myself, what have I learned? What have I learned that can help somebody? Can help that can help not just my audience, but can help one person. And then I list out every single thing I've learned in the past 1 month or so, or previously. Then I list out those things I've learned, then turn them into content ideas or into hooks. Honestly, into hooks, because when I see the hook, I see the content. That hook can tell me what the content is going to be about. I don't know, that's how my brain works. But sometimes you can actually come up with the list of things you've learned, again, turn them into content ideas, and then create the hooks for content, those pieces of content. But that's what I do. You can choose to do whatever you can choose differently. Just apply the same principles to your own brand, to your own content creation flow or system. Why creating content like this is better than actually following trends, or creating content like that's usually what is presented on social media or online nowadays. It's it's not that it's not it allows you to finally start using your voice, not finding your voice, because to be honest, you're not actually going to find your voice out there by using trends, by doing, again, using trends. Than Sorry, you're not actually going to find your voice by using trends, or by doing similar content to people. You're not going to actually find your voice that way. The way you find your voice is through by going within. So it becomes, so creating content then becomes as simple and as effortlessly as possible. Again, you never run out of ideas because to be honest, your voice was never missing in the first place. It was never missing in the first place. It was just buried under the shoots, under the what ifs, under the noise, and under the pressure of saying the right things instead of the real thing. To be honest, right, you've always had the message all along within you, but with clarity, right, it gives you the confidence to say whatever that message is without filtering it. To trust that your truth is enough to resonate with your right clients, with the right clients, with or ideal clients, with the right audience. To even trust that it's not even perfect. And to be honest, this is a shift you that takes you from searching to sounding. This is the shift that takes you from mimicking to being magnetic. Because once you start using your voice, there is not going back, only going deeper. And that's where your brand becomes unforgettable. And we've all been told that we should post more, be consistent, jump on trends, you know, but we don't need more content like that. Honestly, the world actually doesn't need more content like that. They actually, because we are actually craving authenticity, and that's the shift we're now seeing on social media, you know. And because of that, we need more you in your content. It's that simple. You need to stop looking outward for content ideas and start looking inward for content ideas. One is going to make you different. It's that and being different is good. It's going to make you unique, and being unique is good, and it's also going to make you magnetic and unforgettable because your message is going to resonate with the right people and give and help you build your community around you and your brand, because the message in you your experiences, your perception, what you've been through in life gives you that message. That message then helps one person or your audience, your ideal people, your people basically, and that is going to draw people to you, and that is going to help you build your impact. Not just actually help you build your community, but also help you build your impact. You know, and I was going to say something right now. I have forgotten what I was actually going to say. The most magnetic creators, brands, whether that is, sorry, the most magnetic brands out there on social media, whether it's creators, whether it's coaches, whether it's service providers, or any kind of brand for that matter, aren't necessarily the loudest, they're the clearest. Their content doesn't perform, it resonates. It actually feels like being it actually feels like a presence. And that presence, it doesn't just invite people or their audience into their world, it draws them in and holds them. It says, hey, you're safe here and you belong here. And more than that, it inspires your audience to learn, to walk alongside them, to evolve, and maybe to start their own journey because they saw someone else is doing that first. And that's exactly what clarity does. It's not just magnetic, it's actually activating. And and I feel like it doesn't just tell a story, it doesn't just tell your story, it actually sparks one. All right, let's get on with this. My camera died, so I'm sorry about that. Honestly, you don't need to go viral. You need to go inwards, and that's where your clarity lives, and that's where your brand becomes unforgettable and magnetic. If this spoke to you, you're ready for deeper clarity. Start with Brand Story Impact Audit, a quick low lift way to get clear on what you really hear say. Or step into my upcoming Becoming Her Story signature coaching program. And this is for creators and entrepreneurs who are ready to own their story, who are ready to own their message with presence and power. Links are in the show notes below, and let's make your content feel like you again. Until next time, I'll see you in another episode. Till then, bye. All right, that's it.